Sports Tonight is back again. We're broadcasting live from Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. Always a delight to have you join us to talk sports. I'm Austin Okonakpan. It's still an action-packed world of sports. On the show tonight, we will continue our look at the 2016 African Nations Championship. We'll also talk about the January transfer window. What happens to Nigerian players on that transfer market, particularly with this story. We're hearing that Super Eagles player Ike Uche will be joining Malaga. That's a good one. Talking about the Spanish La Liga side, Malaga. He will be joining that team. We'll also talk about the second leg of the 2016 MPFL Super 4. What's the deal? Can Aqua United win it in Uyo? Can Nasarawa United bounce back and Eimba show their supremacy and actually go on to win the second leg of the MPFL Super 4? Or can Warri Wolves just put up a late show that will show that they are still ready to play competitive football? We'll talk about our own football tonight on the show. While we're doing that, we will not forget the fact that the English Premier League is going on with top games. Top of that clash, Arsenal taking on Southampton. Arsenal fan says it is a game that they need to use to avenge what happened at St. Mary's. Let's see if the Gunners will bounce back in that one. And then this talks, is Cross River State government ready to host the 19th edition of the Sports Festival? That's National Sports Festival. We've waited for it forever. What's going on? We'll give you updates today. We'll hear from Cross River State. We'll cross over to the National Sports Commission, feel the pulse of the NSC. Are they running out of patience with Cross River State government? We need to have the National Sports Festival, and that's what we're waiting to see. We'll also talk about all that's going down with FIFA. We're counting down 24 more days to the FIFA presidential elections, and the candidates are still talking tough. Tonight on the show, Gianni Infantino will be talking to us. What are his plans for FIFA? What will he do with the 2018 and 2022 FIFA World Cups? You want to know? Then you should stay with us. Let's bring you into all of what we'll be doing tonight on the show. I keep telling you, don't just watch. Come, let us play for the love of the game on Twitter. With Channels_sports, verified Twitter handle. Talk to us, questions, comments, suggestions. What's going down in your action-packed world of sport that you want to share with us? Right here, we're waiting to be part of it with you. Just talk to us. We're waiting to hear from you. Twitter, Channels_sports, Facebook, Channels-sports. Just also let you know that all our top stories can be viewed on our website. It's channelstv.com and on YouTube /channels web. Be on the go. Do not worry. Yes, you still can be part of the show. Just go to mthechannelstv.com, download the Channels TV app for your iPad, iPhone, BlackBerry, iOS, Windows, and of course, your Android phones. Yes, your Android phones can also do it. mthechannelstv.com, download the app, and you will be part of all what we're doing tonight on the program. It's an action-packed world of sports. Right here, we just love talking sports. So we invite you, come around, let's play for the love of the game. I'll let you see the guys that will be talking sports with us tonight on the show. My colleague Yemi Adebayo is still around. Yemi, good to have you on this program.
Always a pleasure to be here, Austin.
That's right. So we'll do talk sports. And that guy, Olawale Shola, also joins us. Olawale, good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Thank you very much, Austin. I'm so happy to be in the studio with you.
That's right. Good to have you around. Yemi, let me start with you. I think I like it. This story I'm hearing of Ike Uche moving on to Spanish side, Malaga.
If you don't know where you're going to, at least you know where you're coming from.
That's right.
Ike Uche has always done well in the Spanish league. He's done well for all the clubs that he's played for. Villarreal comes to mind, and some of the other teams that he's played for in times past. You remember when it was with Getafe, all the heroics. Anytime he plays against Real Madrid, anytime he plays against Barcelona, he was always doing well. So and he comes back now into a league where, I mean, he's been there. He knows how to do all the good things. So we're just, his time in Mexico was dogged with injuries. Some of us even questioned why he was going to Mexico. But he's making a return to the Spanish top division as expected. Like I say, if you lose your way, just go back to...
Tell yourself, where am I coming from?
Just go back to where you're coming from.
Go back to where I know,
yeah.
Than go to where I don't know.
Although you could say the only blip would be that age is not really on the side. But if you have a league where one of the clubs has a top scorer with 35, 36, and is competing favorably with all the top guns in the league, maybe at 32, he might still be able to deliver the goods from Malaga.
And that's one thing about Ike Uche. You know, when you think he's going quiet, the guy just bounces back and starts scoring. And that was why there was so much pressure. Remember?
Under Coach Vikeshi.
And then there's a callback Ike Uche. And then he came back and little much, but yeah, it shows that if you're doing well, you will be given a chance to play for the senior men's national team. I also saw the story with Obafemi Martins also being called up to play for the Super Eagles. Okay, let's go now. Talk about the general transfer market. And I want to come to you, Olale Shola. January doesn't make big spending, but we saw Stoke City and Everton making surprise buys, spending money, and now we smashed the record of £1 billion spent in the transfer market.
Well, the English Premiership has been has enjoyed the TV rights.
Yeah.
Because the last time they had the TV rights, a whooping £5 billion was signed with Sky Sports and Bet for the English Premiership. And when you share this money among the clubs, they have a lot of money to spend around.
Yeah.
You understand? Because among all the clubs, among all the leagues in Europe, the English Premiership is on top now. Even the La Liga is far below, because apart from Barcelona and Real Madrid, that are the watchers in La Liga. Almost all the English Premiership, from the first team to the last team, has watchers to buy players all over Europe. We saw Umboa leaving Porto down to Stoke City for 18 million.
Wow.
It's a good thing, because it has been a long time we've seen real activities at the January transfer window. The last time we saw one was when Man U signed Nemanja Vidic and Patrice Evra together, and that was it was a coup to me. It was a coup that season. Though, because the January transfer, you just need players to beef up your team. But now with the war chest, even you can have the players to stay off relegation, to fight for European places.
Yeah.
Let me get you.
Let me quickly even add this. The money Newcastle alone spent is higher than all the clubs in the German Bundesliga put together. Just one club. And he said something.
60 million?
And he said something that is very, very interesting. They have money at their disposal. You know, I was telling you late last year, I was telling you how somebody from a top 4 club leagues in Spain, somebody from one of those clubs will be content to come to a club that is not even in the top 10 in England. I was sharing with you how Gökhan Inler, a player I rate so high, we just come to Leicester.
Leicester. And sitting on the bench.
Because he would come because they can afford to pay him whatever he wants to get.
Yes.
And you get to a certain age in football, it's not about the Champions League anymore. It's about what you can put into your pocket.
That's right.
And that's what really happened. And there's money. Modern day footballers are mercenaries. Forget about club loyalty. Players like John Terry will not exist anymore in 1 or 2 years. You're not going to have players who last 10, 5 years, because it's all about the money. And these clubs in England have the money. It's like a magnet. It lures them. You know, Stoke City, Aston Villa, all those clubs. Before you know it, they're dragging players from Marseille. They're dragging players from all the best clubs.
And to add to what you said now, 5 years ago, Stoke City, you wouldn't have imagined the type of player of Ibrahim Afellay, Xherdan Shaqiri playing Stoke City. But for the past 2 seasons, they've been signing top players: Bojan Krkic, Xherdan Shaqiri, Ibrahim Afellay. They haven't bought to one of is highly rated as a defensive midfielder in Europe. So they have a watcher. You have clubs like Norwich City, Bournemouth signing top players in Europe.
Okay, so that's it. That's the update coming at £1 billion spent already this year in the transfer market. Let's listen to some of those analyses on the program, and we'll come back. There's still so much to talk about. Don't go anywhere.
Stay up, because without that windfall, they're going to really struggle, and that gap between the Premier League and the Championship is going to grow. And obviously, in the Championship as well, clubs really want to get in to take a slice of an ever-increasing pie. It's not really the top-end clubs who've been spending big. I think there's obviously, some interest. I mean, there's always all sorts of gossip and speculation and conjecture, but it's those who are more towards the sort of the bottom end of the Premier League. I mean, you notice Newcastle in particular, they really want to consolidate their place. I don't think it's surprising if you look at the context that we've already talked about the TV money, which is due to kick in over the summer. And I don't think it's particularly surprising when you consider the global appeal of the Premier League as well. Clubs know that money's coming in, they want to invest, they want to go beyond their traditional communities, if you like, and look to appeal to a new, more global audience.
Okay, so that's the analysis. I'm not surprised from January last year to now, over $1 billion. I mean, where all this money, where do they come from?
Well, you know, you just give us where some of this money comes from.
£1 billion.
But, you know, English Premier League is the most popular league. You know, if you want to say which one is the best league, it might bring some argument, but when you talk about the most popular league, most players now want to come to the English Premier League because a lot of things will want to make you come.
That's right.
And especially there's good money on offer, and that's why I'm not surprised with those figures. And now I pity clubs in other leagues. You know, even before all of this happened, 5 years ago, Marco van Basten was suggesting that let us merge the Belgian league and the Dutch league so that we can compete favorably with the top four in reference to England, Spain, Italy, and France. But even I don't regard France as, you know, in my own reckoning, you just have the top three because apart from PSG in France, you don't see players in England go to France.
Yes.
What's on offer? You know, the only place they want to go to is PSG. You know, so England is where everything is happening right now, and the way the flow of the game is going, years down the line, it's going to be very difficult for other clubs to compete with England because all the best players will be there.
And the best coaches are also coming. So with Pep coming now, there'll be more tours for TV rights, and I think Wale, the media has also helped.
No, yes, because you said it. It's popular. When you have the popularity, when you have people stay glued to the TV to watch the matches on Saturdays and Sundays, it brings a lot of revenue.
That's right.
That's one part. Now, the other part is the merchandise, shirt sponsorship. Almost all the clubs in the Premiership let me say,
sources of revenue.
It's cause of millions of shirt sponsorship. Take for example, Arsenal signed, I guess, £300 million with Puma.
Wow.
Adidas signed £600 million with Manchester United. Same to Liverpool, New Balance. They signed £450 million for 5 years. Now, all these things, the revenue is going, it will increase the revenue.
Yeah.
I've not talked about the tickets. I've not talked about the hotels, the villages, the souvenirs.
That's right.
All over the world.
Fans experience.
All over the world, they have the friends. They go to Asia for their pre-season tour. They get money from Asia. They go to South America, they get money. They come to South Africa, they get money. Even in Nigeria, by the time one of us take glued to the TV, we are contributing to this pool of funds. And so when you have that pool of funds, you have the money, you have the watches, you buy it. It has happened before. It's not new now. When Serie A was at the height of European football, everybody was going to Serie A. But unfortunately, due to mismanagement, corruption,
That's right.
Serie A went under.
What is that reminded me of Serie A in the early 90s. Inter and AC Milan playing. You have players of Holland on one side. You have like 4 or 5 players of the Dutch national team on one side. 4 or 5 players of the German national team on the other side.
Right.
And it makes it very interesting.
Right.
But they've lost that. And now it's in England.
And to add to what Yemi said, they brought the rivalry from the Serie A down to the Italian 90 World Cup.
Yeah.
Because there was a fight between Riduvola and what's it called, Frank Rijkaard.
Yeah.
It didn't start at the World Cup, it started at the Serie A. There was Marco van Basten on one part, there was Lothar Matthäus with Inter.
Yeah.
There was Jan Klinsmann with Inter, there was Rudy Gullit with AC Milan.
All the best players, you know.
All the players was converging at the Serie A.
It's happening in England. You look at a typical Arsenal-Liverpool game, and you struggle to pick out the English players on the field.
Yes.
There was a time it was so bad that Arsenal could not field an English player.
I remember.
Yes.
Until, you know, Wenger decided to look inwards. And, you know,
And I think even the league, they came out to say, you must have one home.
Yes, you must have our players.
Yeah, that's right.
You must have our players.
In the league.
What is the essence of having a good
league
product?
when
Our children cannot benefit from it.
I know.